Welcome to the Berea podcast. This is Troy.
This is Stella.
And we've got a special show for you tonight. There's so much crazy, stressful, depressing news out there. Wanted to put a show on just about good news. So we've got about 20 minutes of good news for you that includes some of your good news that you're sharing with us. Hope you enjoy it. Stella, I'm surprising you with some of this stuff. As with most things, you don't know what's about to come out of my mouth, do you?
I do not. I do. It's like a magic show.
It's
What's
a magic
he going to
show?
do next?
Oh, that's so exciting.
I don't even know. I've been wearing a beautiful red dress and I'm very tall, walking across the stage. Oh, no. I was just imagining if I was the magician's helper. But wait, show us your magic, Troy.
I called to get good news, the Berea Citizen, the Berea newspaper.
Oh, so you called the newspaper for good news.
Exactly.
That would not have been my immediate first thought of that's where you would go for good news.
I figured that talking to news people about specifically good news would really bring out some of the news around here because they know news both good and bad. I just asked, what's the good news? And I spoke with Ronica there, the editor at the paper. And she, right off the bat, shared two stories over the past month that she's particularly proud that she brought forth in the good news category. From February 14th, she wrote a story about Stella Cates Davis. You may remember this. I remember her picture. She was a 103-year-old woman. And the story was just about stories that she told to Ronica about her meeting her husband and just, the stories that you would tell when you've lived 103 years of life. So that was a good story.
And can people find that online somewhere? Can they go back and get that story?
Yes. Go to the Berea Citizen's website, or you go to Berea Citizen on Facebook and find it that way.
And what was the name of the person again?
Stella Cates Davis.
Okay. I love names like that. Stella
Yes.
Cates Davis.
Yes,
It's like
you do, Della Mae Justice.
I do. Shh, don't tell my middle name, but I do. Stella Cates Davis.
Another thing that she shared that was good news, this is what she said at the drop of a hat. I said, do you know any good news happening? She simply said, from the February 21st newspaper, Unity in the Community. It was at Madison Southern. She said that she went to that to report on it and was inspired by the people of different faiths, different denominations that were there that came together to just simply share with each other. She said that was an example of good news that was happening in our community.
I didn't even know that was going on. Did you know about it?
It was in the paper and it was on Facebook as well. We didn't go. We've had a pretty busy month coming.
We've been a little busy. We have been a little busy. Well, I need to read the paper more carefully. So, because I really sounds like something I would have liked both those, and I just need to read it more carefully.
Absolutely. Considering that comes to our mailbox.
I know. I know. It's not that I don't read the paper. It's that I need to read it. I need to read it with the eye in mind. I never really thought about it of what's the good news in Berea.
And that's a great suggestion. Those are two examples. Let me change the subject to some other good news that I found. This was me pounding the pavement. Okay. I was on our roof the other day, as you are.
It's not me. I wasn't on our roof. You were on the roof.
Right. So I was on the roof the other day and I heard this cheering coming.
What were you doing on their roof? I know that's why you're telling the story.
No,
you really just want me to ask why you're on the roof. No. Okay. Tell everybody why you're on the roof.
You know exactly what I did.
I know what you're doing. You stuck a big pole on top of our roof. Yeah. That's what you did.
I did. It's a 40-foot pole, and on the top is a transmitter. But it's up 40 feet in the high, and we're doing tests to see our coverage and all that. So that's pretty cool. But I was up on the roof.
Doing that.
Right. That's when I heard this cheering. And I thought, it's a Sunday afternoon. I'm going to go down and see what that cheering is. So I had my recorder, and I just simply want to share with you this recording. So listen.
Starting the plate for Grizzlies, number 6, Haley Taylor.
That was a softball game that was going on down in the sports complex. Now, why I want to share it and why that's particularly good news is it was not particularly warm. It was right in the 50s, and there were 10 people from Berea out on the field. Is it 9 or 10? I can't remember how many there were out there. Regardless,
because we're such a sports family.
Exactly. That's not the point of the story either. The stands had about 30 people there, bundled up, some with real blankets on, really, really, really supporting this team. And the score, well, it's not important. And the cheering, what you heard was, the cheering was real. The camaraderie of the people in the stands was real. So that was cool. While I was out, I wanted to follow up with something else that I experienced last week. You know that very frequently I want to, on the way home from work, stop by Little Caesars Pizza.
Because it's in no way on the way home from work. It's not in any way on the way home. It's actually it's the opposite way from home on your way home from work.
All roads lead to Little Caesars Pizza.
It's not on your way home from work. It's not.
And I get a hot and ready cheese pizza and
yes.
hot and ready pepperoni pizza.
Yes. Don't tell people we eat pepperoni. It is so bad for you. Like to say, okay, we can confess
you insulted a whole country.
It is like bad for you. All the studies now, pepperoni, hot dogs.
Pepperoni originated in the blue zone where people live to like 100.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, pepperoni is bad, full of nitrates and nitrites or some sort of things. I'm just telling you.
Fake news.
It's not fake news, but we do eat it. It just makes me feel bad that we eat it. But we didn't eat it a lot.
But that's not the point of this story.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The point is I was in line to get my delicious but apparently nitrate full
It's not
pepperoni.
supposed to be good for you. Mm-hmm.
It's not. Anyway, facing this white board house that's right beside Little Caesars. And at the end of my day, I was tired, but this car pulled up into that house's driveway and two men got out. A woman opened the door so the dog could get out. And this dog runs straight to the man and is jumping up and down and just so happy to see that guy. And as he greets the dog, with both hands on the back of its head, with its ears and all, and the whole path back to the house, the guy was just walking, but that dog was jumping up and down, just so happy that he was home. And that brightened my day to see that happen. So I went back to that house and really just knocked on the door and said, listen.
I am not strange. Don't think this is strange.
I may have said those words.
I think you probably did.
But
and I'm a man alone. Nobody with me. But don't be threatened. This is a strange man walking your street, knocking on your door, just wanting to record you. Don't feel scared.
But I did say, listen, got this for you. And recorded Vanessa telling me about the dog. They just got it recently. And it was a beautiful German Shepherd. It reminded me of like the kind of dogs that you would get when you were a little kid and they were just all energy and you just wanted to play with them. So that was pretty sweet. Anyway, so I did record Vanessa talking about Layla. Here we go. What kind of dog is she?
She's a full breed German Shepherd.
Oh my goodness, she's got so much energy.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, and you're right next to the Little Caesars Pizza.
Yes.
Do people come by and say what a lovely dog you have all the time?
Yes.
Because she really is.
And they want to they'll ask where we got her from, if anybody else, where we bought her from, if they have any more.
Oh, because she's so lovely. Can you hear the breathing? And have you had a second trouble out of her other than just loving you?
No, she's just really energetic. She likes to jump on people, but we're working on training her.
Oh, sure. Oh, I don't know. In her eyes, she looks so kind.
She is. She loves everybody that comes by.
Oh. But when I first got out of the car, though, she was looking at me.
Oh, yeah. She watches. She makes sure. She knows who lives here already. So she'll make sure if you live here, she knows you. But if you don't, she'll start barking.
Alrighty, well, I really just wanted to, share good news,
Okay.
happening around
Yeah.
Berea, and seeing Layla jumping out, when you all were coming home while I was getting my pizza. That's one of the
Oh,
things
yeah.
that's
She loves
good.
to see us once we come home from work and school.
Oh, great. All right, well, thanks so much.
You're very welcome.
Thanks so much, Vanessa, for taking your time out of your day to talk to me and opening the door. That wasn't the only collecting of good news. That wasn't the only bit of good news that I tried to find. I put up on Facebook a post that simply said, I'm looking for some good news. And people responded. It was pretty great. We had several people commenting on there. And Della, you were actually impressed with the number of people that did.
I was so happy you did that. I thought that was a really nice idea. Because I am starting to stay away from Facebook a little bit because it just is bringing my mood down. It just seems really distressing and not great news. But I was so happy to see that on Facebook you said, I'm looking for some good news. And people shared. They had really sweet things that they were sharing.
Let's share them. So go ahead, Jeff. Right, share the first one.
Okay. So we got something from Martina, and I love this one. So she says that what she saw was a neighbor with a Go Forth sign in his yard help his neighbor, who has a Kelly Smith sign in his yard, fix a gutter. They were laughing together and seemed like they were warm friends.
Isn't that good?
Yep. It reminds me of why we do this podcast, right? Because we want people talking and having a good time that live in the community, and not let the things that sometimes would separate us keep us apart. So I really, really love that she shared that.
But she shared more. So
She
tell
did.
us.
Actually, she did. So she was such a good source of this. She also shared that Sustainable Berea is partnering with Berea Community School to install brand new raised beds during the Berea Blitz. Parent and community volunteers will work together to clear out the old beds. I love that too. And actually, I'm now feeling called to go down and do that. I think I'm going to have to do that. Yeah. That was great news. And then she also said, and I'm going to move next to Martina because she sounds like she has some awesome neighbors because she said that she had a neighbor left a sourdough starter in her mailbox. I think that's awesome.
I agree. I've seen too many movies where people have left snakes in mailboxes and that kind of thing.
How many movies? Really? Like movies? Like how many?
We watch different movies.
More than one where they left snakes in a mailbox?
Yeah, that's
really?
a big thing.
That's a big thing?
That's a big thing in
Leaving
movies.
in movies? Really?
Yes. Google it.
Okay, because I don't think there's more than one. Maybe you could maybe do two, but you wouldn't say I've watched so many movies. I mean, how many movies could there be? And then two, that you've watched so many of them, but you've probably seen them all then, if you felt there were so many, because there just can't be that many movies with snakes in the mailbox. But what a way to rain on Martina's good news. I think I now know the problem.
Where I was going with that before I was so rudely interrupted is sourdough starter would be so much more wonderful than a rattlesnake. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, I think so. I don't think those are the only choices. So it could be a card.
Yes.
I don't know.
Mail.
It could just be mail.
Berea citizen. It goes.
It could be.
All right,
But actually, I think that's great. I just love that she shared those.
Martina, thank you so much for sharing. Jenny also posted, just simply said that some friends brought her supper after the death of her cousin, and that's neighbor helping neighbor.
Yeah.
It was good news.
Yeah. Kelly shared that she attended the Red Lake Volunteer Fire Department chili cook-off and that a lot of good food and community building happened there.
Donna shared that Warren Bruner received a special recognition at the Berea Arts Council event. I believe it was the Artist of the Year award. Very well deserved. Other wonderful artists were recognized as well. I've seen some pictures on Facebook as well. Stepping out for the arts.
Oh, yeah. I'm so happy he got that. That is some great news. That is really, really great news. And then Diane shared that Jeff Frum and Peggy Coyne spend countless hours volunteering for our school in many ways, but specifically provide support, compassion, and guidance for our high school Green Dot program. This program's mission is to create a caring, safe culture in our schools where no one feels isolated. And they do. I've seen Jeff there volunteering. He is a great volunteer and supporter of the school.
Lastly, we have Virginia. Virginia simply said that there's a parent support group for kids with disabilities. We've been meeting almost a year and offer support to each other and offer information.
I am so glad that there's a support group for that and that she's let everybody know about that.
Absolutely. So thank you, everybody that responded on Facebook. And let me encourage you, search for the Berea podcast on Facebook. If you don't like us,
If you don't like us, turn us off. Why are you listening?
buddy, what I meant to say is if you have not liked us on Facebook yet, go ahead and like us while you're there and add to this list of good news you're finding about Berea. This has been so fun to record with you, Della, that we're going to have to do it again sometime.
I'm really glad you did it. And it was a very clever idea. I think this is better than some of your other ideas. That sounded very negative. I think this is a really great idea. Thanks for doing that.
I was happy, and I felt that I too needed to hear some good news. So until next week.
Bye.
Today is why I stay.